Hello everyone and welcome back to the UConn Huskies Dynasty. I appreciate all the support and feedback on the off-season episode, and I have a couple updates from it. Somebody pointed out that I had done the schedules wrong, that I had scheduled myself for a bunch of home games and not a ton of road games, and I thought for certain that I had gone back and I had fixed that before advancing, but it turns out that I had not. I had actually scheduled myself for 8 home games and only 4 road games. I unfortunately did not have a save available to just fix this very quickly, so I had to basically go through the entire offseason again to get back to this point. So a couple small things have changed, and I'll show you those in just a moment, but for the most part everything is exactly the same as it was. The only difference being that a few players got different upgrades, and I'll show you that in just a second. Being that I had to redo the schedule, I decided to take some of your feedback into account. So we're still starting versus Kennesaw State at home, and then Syracuse at home as well. Then we'll go to Acrisure against Pitt, and then we're at home versus FCS Southeast and App State. Then we'll go on the road to FIU. Somebody suggested a bye week before having to face Ohio State in Ohio Stadium. I think that's a great idea, so I went ahead and removed our week 7 matchup. And then it's Oregon State at home, South Alabama on the road, and then I brought Duke back in because I think I want to make this a more permanent rivalry as well. This is a pretty fun one because it's 2 basketball powerhouses trying to make a name for themselves in the college football world, and that was a suggestion in the comments. Then a bye week for week 12, and then on the road to end the season at UTSA and at UCF. UCF is actually already a rivalry registered in the game, and it was another one from that comment. As a lot of you may know, you cannot actually edit players in this game, so I have no way to make existing players or even recruited players better or worse. You cannot adjust their ratings. So being that I had to essentially redo the entire offseason, it meant I got different training results. I am not joking, hours trying to recreate the same training results by loading an old save, coming back in and doing it again. I couldn't get exactly what I wanted, but I did get something I think is pretty close. I know that you guys loved the fact that Victor Rosa got such a big bump. I couldn't get him all the way back to an 86, but he did get up to an 85, still the best player on the team going into his senior season. Julian Simon is an 84, which is fairly similar. The big changes are that Nick Evers got a little bit more of an upgrade than he did before, and instead of Cam Edwards being the number 2 halfback in terms of overall, it's Darrell Robinson. But my plan is to still have Cam Edwards be the HB2 just because he has the best carrying on the team, and of course Darrell Robinson has his junior and senior seasons still yet to come. Other than those few things, it's pretty similar to what it was before. The only difference being that Karsten Cassidy did not get the huge bump to his ratings that he did last time. He went up to like an 82. Now he's only a 72, but he is only a sophomore, so I'm sure that he will be a starter in the future. Kind of a crazy upgrade anyway. What I kind of learned by having to redo this a bunch of times is that the upgrades you get in training seem to be entirely random. Really, it's not that big of a change at all, but I wanted to note it to you guys and just be completely transparent with what happened. Another thing some people wanted to see that I failed to show was the incoming freshmen's development traits. As for the freshmen that we brought in, the super noteworthy ones would be Raheem Lovelace, who did receive elite development trait. He of course is a 4-star gem that we recruited and is absolutely going to be the starting middle linebacker in his true freshman season. Another guy with elite development is Jamie Santos, the 3-star gem corner that we landed. And another guy that I didn't bring up much in recruiting was George Kiki, and he earned elite development as well. So we've got our CB1, our CB2 with elite development for the future, as well as our middle linebacker also with elite development. The fan favorites Benji Butt and Robert Butts received impact development and normal development respectively. Another guy that we landed was quarterback Chester Roach, who is a scrambler archetype, and he has star development, potentially the quarterback of the future here. Right now he's got a pretty weak arm, but he does have 89 speed with 90 acceleration. Calvin Whitaker, the 3-star D tackle, has impact development. D'Angelo Townsend, the 3-star outside linebacker, also impact development. Joey Terrell, our second ever recruit, has impact development development as well, as does the other middle linebacker, Gerard Byler. Addison Biggs, who we moved to outside linebacker, has star development. And one other suggestion I took was moving Zachary Spears over to linebacker instead of safety. We have a couple good senior safeties that can play ahead of him, and Spears would be a great addition to the linebacking core. And the first ever recruit to UConn, Johnny McNulty, has normal development, and he's not very good. He's a 54 overall, no mental abilities, no physical abilities. The guy sucks, but he was the first recruit in the series. A guy that I grabbed super late was RJ Kugbila, and he only has normal development, but does have DL Rally as a mental ability. One thing we could consider is redshirting Cam Edwards and just playing Darrell Robinson for his sophomore season. What this would do is allow Cam Edwards to be the lead back next season instead of sort of playing second fiddle to Victor Rosa. Let me know what you guys think about that. We have some time before we actually have to commit to who our true red shirts are. One senior I am going to redshirt though is tight end Tyquan Taylor. He's a 74 overall and he really won't see the field very much this season. I'd prefer to redshirt him this year and let him play next year. And we're also going to do the same with Trey Keenan, Cornell Fink, and Gage Schulters. Apparently you have to have a minimum of 4 tight ends. We're going to let Trey Keenan not be redshirted this year because I'd rather keep Tyquan Taylor because he's for sure going to be tight end 1 caliber next season. For now, I've gone through and redshirted kind of the expected players. A lot of the incoming freshmen are being redshirted, including most of those linebackers that we picked up. And at the moment, I am planning to redshirt all of the incoming freshman corners just because we have guys at the top. And then we also have other players at other positions that can play corner as well. And going into next year, Kiki and Santos might be the CB1 and CB2. I also redshirted Robert Butts as well as Daniel Hutchison. You guys will have to keep me honest on not calling him Hutchinson. And freshman kicker Dylan Missy, as we have Costanzo, who is the obvious starter. Here is what the Huskies will be losing this season in terms of seniors. We have 21 total seniors, 11 of which come from the offensive side of the ball. So pretty much every position has a need offensively, which makes a lot of sense. We focused heavily on the defense last season. That's not to say there aren't needs defensively. Need some defensive ends, some more linebackers, and some safeties. With quarterback being a need and really only having one more year after this of Nick Evers, I found a couple guys I like, and I think a guy that you guys will like a lot in Tyler Weiner. He's an athlete scrambler archetype with 88 speed, 88 acceleration, 86 throw power. He's a 2-star recruit from Connecticut. He's not the best, admittedly, but he's got a funny name. We got the Butts last year. Why not get a Weiner this one? But the guy I'm really excited about is a guy who already had us as his #1 school from Trumbull, Connecticut. Dorian Tobin, another scrambler, and just wait until you see this. 98 speed, 95 acceleration, 93 throw power, and the accuracies are already there. This could be the future of the Huskies quarterback room. How often do you see a 4-star recruit that immediately has UConn as their top school? It's not super frequent, and it's pretty rare that it's a quarterback of this type of caliber. He is going to be the top priority of this entire class, and I see Syracuse down there at 4th, and I'm already dreading the worst. If we don't decide to redshirt Cam Edwards, we will of course be losing Victor Rosa as well as Cam Edwards, so halfback, bit of a need. There's Max Cadet, who is a 4-star halfback. We are 7th on his list, but there's a lot of big name schools here we're gonna have to compete with in order to get him. Did not scout him yet. We're pretty limited on points still, although we do have more than we did last season. Didn't get a chance to offer the other 2 scholarships, but it's probably going to be easier to land a guy like JD Webb or Dan Boyd. Thought about it really quick. I realized I could advance the week. We are now #4 on Max Cadet's list. Let's go ahead and get him scouted up. 90 speed on a power back is pretty solid. So here's how I've got the recruiting board set up right now. I'm obviously sending the house on a guy like Dorian Tobin and a few other guys like Max Cadet, Wayne Rourke, and Manny Smith. This would obviously be the QB, halfback, center, and right tackle of the future, or potentially left tackle wherever we decide to put him. And I think these are going to be our biggest battles, so I would like to get them squared away, or really, I guess, just see if we can even contend with some of these teams trying to snag them as well. And then I have a bunch of other points elsewhere getting smaller as we go down the list. Anyone who didn't get points put on them are guys that we were kind of gaining on anyway just by getting the scholarship, and that I feel like we aren't going to lose out on heavily by not pursuing them currently. And now we are officially on to our first game week where Kennesaw State will be visiting. Let's get some more recruiting done. We are taking a huge lead on Dorian Tobin. That is what you like to see. It's between us and Penn State for Max Cadet. And I'm not 100% certain if we can contend with the likes of Penn State. Clearly, they were sending the house this week as well, but we might be in the battle, and he loves proximity to home, and he might be a little bit closer to us than he is to Penn State. We've taken a lead on Wayne Rourke and on Manny Smith, so things are going according to plan so far, especially with 3 out of the 4 guys. We weren't originally in Nate McCann's top 8 at all, so we have jumped up to 7th. And we're only one of 3 teams to offer him a scholarship currently. We also took by far the largest jump, so going into the next week, we should see ourselves in the very least at 3rd, I would imagine. UMass really wants 2-star left tackle Dom Osgood, went all out for him this past week. And now I see why. The man is a 2-star gem. We should definitely be sending more points his way. One really interesting player is 4-star tight end Marcus Engler, a vertical threat tight end, and we've taken a significant lead. It's not massive, but it's a pretty good one against Mississippi State. I'm just going to keep going as I'm going with Engler. Another guy we're going to have to battle Syracuse for is Heath Calvin, a right outside linebacker from Brooklyn, whose deal breaker is proximity to home, for which we have an A+. We can already schedule a visit with him, and what if we bring him in when Syracuse comes to UConn? I like that idea a lot. We beat Syracuse last year. Can we do it again? And we will, of course, make that a family visit because of the A+ proximity to home, and we will also send the house on this guy. This is a guy I want to get quite a bit, if not just to rub it in the face of Syracuse. Welcome everybody to season 2 of the UConn Huskies Dynasty. First game of the season against Kennesaw State at home. We open the year with 4 of our first 5 games at home, and then we go on a pretty long road stretch. So to open the season, wins are going to be very important if the Huskies want to go back to a bowl game. The Huskies offense will start with the ball today, and the offense really hasn't changed too much from a personnel standpoint. The only major differences being that Victor Rosa is the HB1 this season instead of Cam Edwards, and the wide receiver room is a little different, with Skylar Bell being the wide receiver 1, Gathings being the 2, and Shamar Porter being the 3 and the slot man. Let's get season 2 underway. The first play of the season is going to be a carry for Victor Rosa, stuck on a lineman and goes down at the 25, no gain. This is one of those games that kind of feels like a must win when it's one of the weakest opponents on the schedule for the season. Victor Rosa, another carry, gets 8. 3rd and 2 from the 33. Evers is back to pass, and he'll go over the middle, find Shamar Porter, and that's good enough for a first down. So on that first down, we'll go back to the air again, and Evers underneath finds Gathings for the first time this year, and he gets 3 yards. Make it 2nd and 7, and we'll go back to the ground. Rosa with some running room, tries to juke it to the outside, fights for extra yards, and goes down at the 50. First down and 10 from midfield. Play action, Cam Edwards in the backfield. This time Evers gets the pass off. It's caught by the backup tight end Honig, and he gets all the way to the 22. 1st and 10, UConn. What a throw here by Nick Evers, getting absolutely killed as he releases it. A holding penalty pushes the Huskies back, so it's 1st and 20 after the big play. And we'll go on the ground to start. Rosa nowhere to go. Make it 2nd down and 20 from the 32. Evers is back to pass, and he wants Rosa on this play, and he'll get a lot of that yardage back. It's 3rd and 8. From the 20, it's 3rd and 8. Evers back to pass. lobs this one up for Damon Harrison, but it is swatted away. And we will have to settle for a field goal attempt from new freshman kicker, Zach Costanzo. That kick is up and it is good, just inside the left upright. And the Huskies will take a 3-0 lead. And now here's a look at the Kennesaw State offense. They are quarterbacked by junior Braden Bohannon. And one of the best players, if not the best player on this whole team, is senior halfback Gabriel Benyard, who is an 83 overall. Wide receiver 1 is Christian Moss. Blake Bohannon, who I can only assume is the quarterback's brother, is wide receiver 2. Tykeem Wallace is the wide receiver 3. And the tight end is Carson Kent. As for the new look UConn defense, you've got Bryce Yates, who will play left end and some D-tackle. Matt Hoffman will play right end. D-tackle 1 is Curvins Chute, and then Timothy Passmore Jr. Outside linebacker is, of course, the star Julian Simon. Middle linebacker 1 will be Raheem Lovelace, and the other outside linebacker will be Zachary Spears. Corner 1 is Damon Brinson, and then Jordan Wright and Cam Chadwick. The free safety is senior Chris Grubbs, and the strong safety is Lee Millette III. So really the main concern is this halfback, but we're all over it, and that's Raheem Lovelace, wearing number 57, the freshman making his presence known immediately. Now on 2nd and 12 from the 15, will the Owls go to the air? No, they're back on the ground. Benyard with the carry, and it's Lee Millette, and then I believe that's Bryce Yates coming down with the tackle. Excuse me, that was Liam Fuller who wears the number 95. Now it's 3rd and 11. And it's play action. Plenty of time to throw a wide open man down the field, and Bohannon finds him, getting all the way to the enemy 46. A collapse defensively there. Now it's 1st and 10, Kennesaw State out of the pistol. And it's going to be a carry for Benyard. Tries to break this to the outside. Another big tackle from Raheem Lovelace. Lovelace has really excellent speed for a linebacker at 89, so he should be flying around the field. And it's another carry for Benyard, breaks away, but then brought down by Lee Millette. Now we find ourselves in a somewhat similar situation where it is 3rd down and 5, and they're going to the air and should have been intercepted. It's dropped. I can say with certainty that if Brinson had snagged this, he would have been gone. Would have been a pick 6 for the senior CB1, Damon Brinson. And now the Owls are attempting a very long field goal from the Husky logo in the center. It's up and it is good. He makes that field goal from that range. I know that was like 55 plus, 58 I want to say. And it is good. So we're at a tied up football game, 3-3. UConn back with the football, starting from their own 25. Let's see if they can punch in a touchdown to end a drive this time. It's going to be a handoff, Victor Rosa, and we are getting bullied on the interior line. The offensive linemen this year are Florida State transfer Jacob Risey playing left tackle. Then you've got Ben Morosky as the left guard. Mike Wilson is the center, and that is Wes Ho, who is repeatedly getting bullied at the right guard position. And the right tackle is sophomore Jaden Bass. So the left side of the offensive line, definitely a bit stronger, but it's a pretty good offensive line throughout. Weakest position being right tackle. Trying to get this to Victor Rosa. Somehow he makes that grab. Can he find the edge? He does. Can he get the first down? He does that as well. What a menace Victor Rosa is. Now on 1st and 10 from the 36, Evers back to pass, lobs one up. Shamar Porter is by himself to the 10 in the end zone. Touchdown, Shamar Porter and the UConn Huskies. There's a reason he's still playing despite not receiving the big upgrades like some of his counterparts did. It's because of his elite speed and physical abilities, and he showcased that here on the slot fade, getting away from everyone and finding the end zone, and an absolute dot from Nick Evers. 10-3 for UConn as Kennesaw State takes back over. And Bohannon will hand this off to Benyard, and Julian Simon is there. The second quarter officially underway. 2nd and 11 from the 19, and it is going to be through the air, finding his man and being tackled out of bounds. The man making the tackle there was Chris Grubbs. You can see him on the field here. He wears a hoodie underneath his jersey. One of the few players who does that on this team. Benyard with a carry, breaks a tackle, has a first and a little bit more to the 38. 2nd down and 8 after a short carry for Benyard. And it is going to be a throw for Bohannon again. Finds his man, who's then laid out by Brinson. And that sets up a 3rd and 4 situation for the Owls. Benyard still in the backfield. Bohannon going to the air, though, and it's a screenplay. Need a big tackle from Liam Fuller, and he gets it done. Kennesaw State will have to punt it away. Decent starting field position for the Huskies after a bad punt from the Kennesaw State kicker. Evers takes the snap, hands off Victor Rosa. And I'll tell you what, the run game has not been the best so far today. The interior of our offensive line really not giving Victor Rosa time to get into some open space. Finally, here he does, and he fumbles the football. It's recovered by the Owls, pushed out of bounds at the UConn 47. That's the concern with playing Victor Rosa this much, is he is known to cough up the football on occasion. We are going to challenge this play, although I'm fairly certain the ball was already out. Actually, maybe not. It looks like his knee was possibly down while still in his possession. And it turns out that was the right call as the Huskies come back out onto the field, and it is UConn football. So no fumble from Victor Rosa. Definitely want to be a little bit more careful with the football, though, as he will get another opportunity here and holds on to it. 2nd and 6 from the 47. Evers is back to throw. Rolling and lobbing one up, finding Skylar Bell. What a play from the quarterback, Nick Evers. From the 17, it's 1st and 10, and we'll go back to Rosa on the ground. Again, not a ton of room to work with, only 3 yards. From the 14, it's 2nd and 7, and we'll go back to Rosa on the ground again, trying to get to the edge, tries to juke inside. Nothing doing. 3rd and 4 from the 11, Evers to pass over the middle, has Porter. He may have been short of the first. No, they give it to him at the 6. 1st and goal for UConn. 3 minutes left in the half. Man in motion is Shamar Porter, and it's a jet touch pass to him. Just has to outrun one defender. Can't quite do it down at the 1. 2-minute warning. The Huskies 3rd and goal from the 1. Evers, play action. Will look to throw, doesn't really have anybody open, tries to get it to the tight end, and he holds on. Touchdown Huskies. Hard to believe he was able to hold on to that one that was rifled in by Nick Evers, but it's 6 more points for UConn, and the Huskies will take a 2-possession lead. Can the Owls answer before we head to the half? Over the middle, Bohannon finds his man. It's a pickup of 7. And they'll, of course, go into the hurry-up. 2nd down and 3. Bohannon again over the middle. Just short gains so far, but it's good for a first. From the 41, Bohannon to throw again. Has all kinds of time. Dumps it off to Benyard, who's laid out. And the Owls use their first timeout. Now it's 2nd and 2 from the 49. 1:28 left in the half. Bohannon, right side, finds his man, open space, and they're basically in field goal range already. With the ability that their kicker showed off last time, I fully expect he'd make it again. Or maybe it was just beginner's luck. As Bohannon throws again, Benyard goes out of bounds at the 33. 2nd and 7. About to hit a minute left to play in the half. It hits the tight end in the back. Forgot to turn around. 3rd and 7. From the 33, 1:07 left to play. And this one is going to be completed from Bohannon to the 20. 1st and 10, 30 seconds left. They still have 2 of their timeouts, not using them just yet. As this one going to be completed over the middle, brought down by Raheem Lovelace. 3rd and 2 from the 12. If they fail here, you got to expect that they'd go for the field goal attempt. That one is complete, though, and it is a first down. They'll use that last time out. 1st and goal from the 5. This pretty much has to go to the end zone. Bohannon back to pass. Corner of the end zone. It is caught. Brinson not putting his hands up. It's a touchdown for Kennesaw State. We were right there. Brinson, I feel like, really just needed to put a hand up, and he didn't do so. And it goes right over top of his head, and it's a touchdown for the Owls. Seems like Brinson and Millette just never saw the ball until it was too late, and then it was a touchdown. So we head to halftime with UConn only up by 7, 17-10 over the Owls. Shamar Porter, the player's spotlight, 4 catches, nearly 80 yards, and the touchdown. This game's been a little closer than I would have expected. This Kennesaw State offense appears to be pretty capable. The Owls start with the football here in the second half. An opportunity to tie this game up. Man in motion. Is it going to be a jet touch pass? No, it's a fake, and they get it to Benyard, the halfback. He gets 6. On 2nd down and 4, I anticipate they'll go to the ground again. No, it's play action. Over the middle, finding his man is Bohannon. He breaks out of the Lee Millette tackle. It's Jordan Wright who has to bring him down inside the 30. But a huge pickup for Kennesaw State. They have had zero issue moving the football through the air. We don't exactly have a strong secondary. Benyard, huge lane up the middle this time, though. And the running game about to get going, it seems. And they will burn a timeout. Looks like perhaps that was an injury timeout, as Kennesaw State did not lose one. First and goal from the 3. Benyard not in the backfield this time. It is a handoff up the middle still, and brought down quickly by Zachary Spears and Liam Fuller. The backup halfback for Kennesaw State is junior Qua Ashley, who is a junior from Georgia and actually appears to be a pretty decent back at a 76 overall. Seems like Kennesaw State might be pretty good at recruiting running backs, as Ashley is in the backfield. Bohannon has a man in motion again. This time it is the actual jet touch pass, over pursued, touchdown Kennesaw State. This is a really disappointing showing from the UConn Huskies defense. It's going to be 17-17 when the offense comes back on the field, and we might be on upset alert here. I've been very impressed by this Kennesaw State team so far today. I thought this might be one of those games that is just an absolute blowout. 8 minutes left to play here in the third. Victor Rosa, no running room. This interior offensive line has been horrendous. 2nd and 11 from the 24, and Victor Rosa going to get another carry. Finds open space to the outside. He's to the 50. One man to beat, does so, but jukes into another player and gets to the Owls 38. A big pickup for Victor Rosa. Cam Edwards in the backfield will switch to an RPO. But we're just going to run it up the middle. Cam Edwards fumbles the football, and Kennesaw State recovers. And unlike Victor Rosa's fumble, that one is a for sure thing. Cam Edwards has the best carrying rating of all of our halfbacks. It's part of why I want him to play at least a little bit this season. But if you're coughing up the football against Kennesaw State, one of our weakest opponents, I feel like you're going to do it against better ones. So now Kennesaw State with the opportunity to take a lead even here. Benyard in the backfield. It is a carry for him. Liam Fuller can't bring him down. Julian Simon does so at the 41. We have not been able to get any pressure on the quarterback. Haven't been able to stop the run. And most definitely haven't been able to stop the pass. Lee Millette the third with the tackle in the backfield. Now we find ourselves 3rd and 6. Would be a big stop from the Huskies, as this one goes over the middle and is caught. Lee Millette cannot cover the tight end. Tackled by Chris Grubbs, but a first down for Kennesaw State. From the 35, Kennesaw State handoff to Ashley. Spears all over it on the blitz. A loss of a yard. Really need a stop from the Huskies defense, as it's going to be another handoff. Ashley cuts this back, breaks a tackle, fighting for extra yards, and now it's going to be 3rd and 4. A little over 3.5 minutes left in the third. Bohannon has all day to throw, finds his halfback Ashley, who's laid out by Brinson, but does get the first down yardage. Man, oh man, this is turning bad quickly. 3 minutes left in the third. Bohannon goes down. Cam Chadwick with the sack. 2nd and 20. This is going to be the opportunity to get a stop, to maybe hold Kennesaw State to 3 points, as we know their kicker has a big leg. This looks to be the 3rd string halfback, and he goes down after a pickup of 1. So now if you're the Huskies, you give up anything short, I think. You just don't get beat over the top would be the goal. Bohannon dumps it off to the halfback. Just make a tackle. Chadwick and Fuller are there, and it's 4th and 11. So they'll set up for a field goal from the hash. Their kicker made, I believe, a 58-yarder earlier. This one much shorter, about 40 yards on the dot, but from the hash, and it's going to be wide left. No good from Kennesaw State. And the Huskies defense holds. 17-17 is still the score. If this ends up being a game we win by a field goal or less, you're going to look back at that sack by Cam Chadwick and think that that's the point where the game was won for the Huskies. Rosa only 2 yards. 2nd and 8. Back to pass, going over the middle, finding Lewis Hansen. And he gets to the 42 as a blitz sent from Kennesaw State. 1st and 10 from the 42. Evers to throw. Dumps this off to Josiah Gathings. He's got room down the field to work with, and it's another 1st down for UConn as we end the 3rd quarter. 4th quarter underway. It's 1st and 10. And for the first time this season, my favorite play, the jet touch pass. The blocking is there for Rosa, and he gets the 1st down to the 33. A false start pushes us back. It's 1st and 15. From the 38. And we're going to maybe look Shamar Porter's way, but we can't get it off. Oh my goodness. It's picked as Evers is hit as he throws, and now Kennesaw State with the opportunity to take the lead once again. Mistake after mistake from the offensive line, and Evers pays the price. That one not really his fault on the interception. Was looking downfield for Porter, hit as he throws, and it just goes straight to the linebacker in the middle. And the craziest part about this is that that was only a 3-man rush from the Owls. And it was Jacob Risey, the new left tackle, letting the defender in. This offensive line seriously letting us down so far today. 1st and 10 for the Owls, 9 minutes left to play. And we're all knotted up at 17. Bohannon will hand it off to Benyard. Finds some room to the outside. Lovelace is fast, but not fast enough to chase Benyard down. Brinson slows him down, and then Lovelace makes the tackle. 1st and 10 from the 23. Kennesaw State feels destined to win this game at this point. Benyard on the carry, nowhere to go. Now there's 8 minutes left to play. Bohannon, all kinds of time, does get this one off to his wide receiver who is laid out at the 12, but it's a 1st down for the Owls. 2nd down from the 12, and it's going to be a pass attempt. And to the right side, finding his man, it's Benyard. 3rd and 1 from the 2. Can we keep him out of the end zone? Benyard tackled down at the 4. It's 4th and 2. We hold them to yet another field goal attempt. This time a chip shot, but again, from these college hashes, makes it a lot more difficult. Will he make this one? Surely he does. He does not! It's missed wide to the right. He can't kick from the hashes. He's just like me for real. UConn bailed out time and time again this game. I feel like we have been thoroughly outplayed by Kennesaw State, yet we find ourselves in a position to win. 2nd and 1 from the 29. Evers takes the snap. Shamar Porter by himself on the left side of the field. Can anybody bring him down? No, he breaks the tackle. He's to the 10. He's in the end zone. Another touchdown for Shamar Porter. They sent a huge blitz. We read it the whole way. We send Porter on a streak, get it to him immediately, and he's got the speed to break away down the field. 5.5 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter, and UConn going to take a 24-17 lead off of the 2nd touchdown on the day for sophomore wideout Shamar Porter. Was that the energy that this Huskies team needed? 1st and 10 from the 25. Back to passes Bohannon over the middle, brought down by Chris Grubbs. We've been nearly incapable of stopping this offense today. It's 2nd and 3. Bohannon out of the pistol will hand off and brought down by Cam Chadwick, who's playing very well today. So now it is 3rd and 3 from the 32. It is a handoff, a draw play, and Julian Simon is all over it. Nowhere to go for Benyard, and they have no choice but to punt it away here. The big play from Shamar Porter has breathed some life into this UConn Huskies team. 3:36 remaining. Victor Rosa going to get the carry. Just hold on to the football. That's a big hit from a Kennesaw State defender. Under 3 minutes left to play. Rosa in motion, and it is going to be that jet touch pass, and he will get the 1st. That does bring us past the 2-minute warning. 2nd and 11 from the 49. Looking to burn some Kennesaw State timeouts. Good cut from Victor Rosa. Makes it a more manageable 3rd and 5. A first down here could ice the game, and we're going to get it to our main man, Shamar Porter, and he gets it done. First down, UConn. One timeout for Kennesaw State. I believe there is still technically time for them to get the ball back. And Victor Rosa going to get the carry, and they'll burn their last timeout. From the 29, it's 2nd and 11. All the timeouts gone for Kennesaw State. Victor Rosa just needs to hold on to the football. He does. And now it's 3rd and 5 from the 23. We will, of course, chew down as much of this clock as we can and then hand it to Victor Rosa. Maybe line up a better field goal attempt for Zach Costanzo and hopefully leave today with a victory. A victory that maybe we don't deserve. Victor Rosa going to get the first. We don't even need the field goal. The Huskies are going to win. Victory formation for UConn. Evers will take a knee, and the Huskies are 1-0 to start the season. It wasn't easy. Kennesaw State made it very, very difficult. We made some costly mistakes. The offensive line didn't really show up until the very end, but it's a win for the Huskies. Shamar Porter, 6 catches, 164 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I think it's going to be a big year for the sophomore wide receiver. If we take a look at player stats for the Huskies, Nick Evers was so efficient today. Had 2 incompletions. One of them just happened to be the interception. 16 of 18. 294 yards and 3 touchdowns. Rushing, Victor Rosa with 20 attempts, 120 yards, and had a 6 yard per carry average. It didn't feel very good, though. It did not feel like 6 yards per carry. Cam Edwards got 2 carries on the day, and he coughed up one of them. Receiving, it was the Shamar Porter show, 6 for 164 and 2 touchdowns. I thought it'd be difficult to replace TJ Sheffield. It seems like Shamar Porter is a worthy replacement. Rosa with 4 receptions. I think most of those were touch passes. Alex Honig, the backup tight end, getting 2 receptions for 29 yards and a touchdown. Had a couple clutch grabs. Josiah Gathings with 2 catches, Hansen with 1, and Skylar Bell with 1 for 30 yards. As for blocking, despite Risey giving up the kind of embarrassing 3-man rush sack into interception, he did have 6 pancakes. Morosky with 5, Jaden Bass, the right tackle, with 3, Lewis Hansen, the tight end, with 1, Mike Wilson, the center, and Wes Ho, the left guard, with 1. Defensively, Zachary Spears with 8 total tackles leads the way. Cam Chadwick super involved in that department as well. Spears, Chadwick, Simon, and Lovelace all with 2 TFLs, and the only man with a sack was Cam Chadwick, and that was, I think, kind of a turning point, honestly, for the team. I think the 2 biggest plays of the game were Cam Chadwick's sack and then the 71-yard touchdown reception for Shamar Porter to take the 24-17 lead. No interceptions for the Huskies today. So we advance to week 2, and here is the recruiting update. We are currently 2nd on Max Cadet, still just battling with Penn State. We have taken the lead with left tackle Dom Osgood over UMass. And we are currently 3rd for Clay Saubert, a middle linebacker. Cam Chadwick earns Defensive Player of the Week for the FBS Independence. And Shamar Porter, of course, gets the Offensive Player of the Week for his insane day. Scrolling through the week 1 matchups, one of the few upsets I can find, East Carolina beating NC State 28-21 in week 1. Old Dominion blowing out Indiana. Sam Houston upsetting Arizona State. Florida State upsets Alabama. And Syracuse, our next opponent, beats Miami 30-20. Oh, Syracuse might be a scary team this year. And in all honesty, those were the only big upsets to report. So I know you guys voted in a poll and you voted for 2 games per episode, but I think once in a while we'll do 1 game per episode. I think it makes sense to do a home opener as a 1-game episode, and I think we'll probably do the Ohio State matchup as a 1-game episode, assuming I can keep that game close at all. Obviously, if a game's not close, I'm just going to pretty much sim through it. I will personally probably play the rest of it, but you guys don't really need to sit through like a 38-10 where we know who the victor is going to be. So we'll just kind of play it by ear, but I think going forward, we will probably do 2 games per episode, and if it's like a really tight, really interesting game, we might put it down to 1 game per episode. So being that Kennesaw State game was actually very interesting, feels like a 1-game episode to me. Plus, with all the explainer stuff in the beginning, it'll make this episode pretty long already as it is. But anyway, that is going to do it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate the continued support. If you find yourself coming back on the regular and you aren't already subscribed, go ahead and hit that sub button for me. It does help me out a lot. And I will see you guys in the next one when we face off against our new rivals, the Syracuse Orange.